Well, I hate to admit it, these past 6 or 7 years I've been splitting wood all wrong. What I mean by that is I never tried splitting wooden tires before. I used to do it the traditional way where you just had a block and pieces of wood would go everywhere. And you know, I like to think the older I get, the smarter I get. For example, this pickaroon right here. This is a great tool. It saves your back. Just so happens that I'm bending over right now to look in the camera, but anyhow, I started getting into pickaroons about a year and a half, 2-3 years ago, something like that, and it saved my back quite a lot. You know, before that I used to bend over to pick up all my pieces. It used to be so inefficient, used to be really hard on the back, but with this pickaroon, without even really bending over, I just picked up an 8-inch round that hadn't bent over and it was pretty effortless. So it's little things like that, and that's where these tires come into play. And these tires, I got them free from a mechanic. Trying to look for a size, but I don't think the size really matters that much. And these were used trailer tires, and one has a blown out sidewall, the other one's just bald. And these tires are excellent, excellent, excellent for splitting wood. They offer several advantages. So let me throw my round of wood up in here. So traditionally when you're splitting wood, you have many things to worry about. Just pretend these tires weren't here. You have to worry about you landing perfectly on your mark. You have to worry about this wood shifting from side to side. And then you have the pieces fly everywhere and they fall on the ground. You have to pick them up. And most importantly, you have to worry about that axe deflecting off that wood. If it catches weird or something happens, it'll have a tendency to come down and it'll want to jab you in the ankle. Thankfully, I've been lucky these past years, but you know, there's still always that risk that you run when you're splitting wood by hand, so that's why it's important to be extra careful. And these tires, again, they offer several advantages. One, you don't have to worry about your piece bending over from side to side or backward and front. It keeps it pretty well centered. And even if you have a piece that's cut off on like an off angle, you can still throw it in here and you can split through it just fine. Additionally, it captures all the pieces after you split it, so you don't have to worry about bending down or anything like that. Next, if you happen to have a bad deflection, the rubber in these tires will just absorb the impact. You won't do any damage to your handle. Everything will be real nice. And one of my favorite things about these tires, other than everything else, traditionally when you're splitting into a block and you come down with the axe, once it goes down, the energy just goes straight into the ground. You don't preserve any energy at all. The nice thing about these tires is they have a really nice bounce. So actually when you're splitting and you split down and you go through this round right here, the axe will actually come back up and it'll actually save you quite a bit of energy. So, you know, something that costs you nothing just saved you a whole bunch of time, whole bunch of energy, and it's going to make your job a whole lot easier. Now the only thing I would recommend, which I have not done yet but I need to do, is I'm just going to bolt or probably screw these tires together with some long lag screws or something like that. Additionally, I want to make sure I drill some holes so no water collects in there, and that way we don't spread any Zika or any kind of malaria viruses. And then I'm going to secure it to my my chopping block here, so it's absolutely secure and I don't have to worry about it at all. So let's see how these tires actually perform. Alright, so the last piece of wood actually had a major knot in it, and it looked kind of foolish if I threw it up there, but what I'm going to try now is this piece wasn't really cut evenly on the bottom, so I'm going to throw this piece on the bottom. I'm going to utilize the edges of this tire to keep this upright. Now let's see how we do here. See the axe bounce right back? It doesn't bounce right like enough so that it come back and whack you in the face, but just enough so that when it's coming back up, it kind of saves your arms the energy of lifting the axe back up. Get one more whack out of this. We'll go again. And it's very easy to just keep splitting this thing and splitting it. Mind you, I'm using a freaking splitting or a maul right now. I'm not using a little axe or anything. And you can just keep going finer and finer. But really important that I secure this down. As you can see, the tires were shifting a little bit there. But if you split wood by hand, I'd highly recommend getting a set of tires. It'll save you a lot of energy. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please comment, rate, and subscribe.